back to the Manga Witch. Today I want to talk about two things. Number one, Amazon. I fell in love. Like, you can't be an e-reader girly and not have one of these. Like, this is like literally the rite of passage. Outside of getting one of these page turners, like I got these off of the TikTok shop. Well, this, and then I got this off of Amazon. I'll link everything. Don't worry. But anyway, let's get right into it. So today, I'm going to talk about a book that has kept me up for every single volume. Like, I've been on edge ever since I read the first volume. Nezumi's First Love. This is volume 4. So I finally made it to volume 4. Volume 4 came out last week on the 16th. So if you're watching this, it's already out. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. And let me tell you something. If you are someone that enjoys, this is shoujo, just a little bit, not really, but a cross between that and, let's say, Sakamoto days. But if Sakamoto and his wife were 20 years younger, you know, you would get Nezumi's First Love. This series, we're going to get to the entire thing, but I want to start at volume 1. So this is volume 1. In volume 1, we meet Nezumi. And during this time, in the first volume, she's out on her first hit. And her first hit is at a local, let's say it's similar to Dave & Buster's in a way. She gets her target, and on her way out, she meets the person that's going to be her soon-to-be first love. And the funny thing is, he would be considered a loose end by her organization. And Nezumi, she is the daughter of a high-ranking Yakuza member or leader. And unfortunately for Nezumi, she grew up in a very hostile environment. Her upbringing, of course, was not that of a regular child, a little girl. She basically was trained into being this assassin. And since they bred an assassin to go and do their bidding, right? She ended up getting caught up in the loop, and her dad made her into what she is, and it just kept the cycle going. So while out on this hit, her soon-to-be first love became a loose end, and her organization ended up finding out about him, and they were going to, she stopped them and said, look, you don't even have to worry about it. I will keep him close to me. He will not cause any problems. I like him. Because at this point, they've gone out, they've hung out with each other, and they started to, like each other. And the crazy thing is, Nezumi and Ao they're like the weird, awkward couple that never really dated in school. You get what I'm saying? Like college, that sort of thing. They never really dated. So they're essentially socially awkward adults that don't necessarily know how to navigate relationships. Nezumi, because of her upbringing, and Ao, we don't necessarily have a backstory on Ao as of volume 4. So fast forward, she basically brought Ao under her wing and said, look, you know what? The only way that I can keep you safe is if I train you myself. So she basically had to train Ao to become an assassin so that not only he can stay safe from her organization, but stay safe as he goes out on these missions. Like, she has to go out on these missions, sometimes together and sometimes separately. So that's when we get into volume 2. And in volume 2, it's they're going out on hits. He's learning how to do a sneak attack just like she does to get her targets out of the way. And eventually he starts to become good at it. But unfortunately, he gets complacent, and he basically did the same thing that Nezumi did out on her run when she first met him, and that was leaving loose ends. And that's when we get into volume 3 of Nezumi's First Love. In this particular volume, she has to go save him. So the girl that he ended up leaving behind, because he's, he's, like I said, he's one of those guys that are the sweet, he's still a guy, but he's a sweet guy, and he is compassionate. So he left behind someone that he thought was an innocent kid or innocent teen or woman. I don't know what she is, but she's not. She's far from it. She's actually a ghoul. So he ends up getting caught up, and Nezumi, like I said, she had to come save him. He's tied up to a chair. They're plucking out his nails, fingers, and toes. Like, it gets really, really, really graphic. And yeah, she has to save him. And Nezumi, she's been an assassin since she was a kid, so she ain't new to this, she true to this. She cleared the block when she got up in there. Everybody had to go night-night. Everybody laid down, okay? Going down the steps, she getting everybody, okay? She's going to save her man. She's going to save her man. So when she gets there, she sees who the person is that is basically torturing him. But in a weird way, she's just as weird and as awkward as Nezumi, but in a more perverse way. But they have a thing for like burgers. It's kind of weird. I'm just like, what? Okay. All right. Moving along, because it just did not make any sense. So Nezumi saves him. She gets them out of that situation. And that's when we get into volume 4 of Nezumi's First Love. So after she saved him from the crime syndicate, basically, okay, it starts to get a little weird, because now there's a girl. After she cleared everything, and she has a cleanup crew that comes in after her to clean everything up. They go home like they normally do. They live together by now. Oh, did you remember to pay your phone bill? Oh, I'll cook tonight. Hey, let's go here. Like, it's one of those regular mundane couples. And then all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and Nezumi doesn't know who's on the other side of the door. And in this frame, all you see is this in the peephole of the door. Nezumi opens the door, and it's her friend, but really we find out later on that that's her sister. She introduces Miroki as her friend, but it's really her sister to Al. Al doesn't think anything of it. They meet, they go their separate ways after she's introduced to them. And then the next day, they're in the room together, sitting in front of their boss, because Miroki does the same thing that Nezumi does, as well as Al. They are instructed to go out on another hit. Now, like I said, Nezumi and Al usually go together on their hits, but this time, Nezumi is sent on a separate job, and Al and Miroki are sent together. And knowing her boss, because in, I want to say like volume 2 or 3, like I said, he tried to kill him because he was not supposed to know any of the stuff that they're doing. He was kind of funny, right? So why would you separate them? That's the first thing I thought. There's always an ulterior motive. So he sent Al with Miroki to a mission. And now the mission, unbeknownst to Al, he thinking it's a regular mission. The entire time, like I said, Al wasn't born into that world like Nezumi and Miroki. They had to grow up in it. He didn't. He's just a regular guy. So Al is instructed, Miroki is instructed, unbeknownst to Al, that he has to be trained to use one of these. And they're now in open field. She shows him how to, what the safety is, what this is, and what that is. And by the time she shows him, he's like, hey, remember everything I taught you, because that's going to be the only lesson you're going to get. They go into the house. Miroki goes in. She clears everything just like her sister. She gets in there, has him go down into the lower level of the house on a ladder. After he goes down there, she goes back up and pulls it up. And he's like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Inside of that room are 6 Yakuza members that were beat up and knives tied to their hands. Mind you, like I said, he was doing target practice outside to learn how to use it. So he only had 7 rounds. Now he's down to 6. And there's 6 Yakuza in the bottom of that basement. He has to make sure he clears them each time without fail, or they're coming for him. He does. But there's this one particular person that Miroki did not tell him was down there. She made it known to him towards the end of it that there's someone else that has the same thing he has. And it turns out that he's just like Al. He has a girlfriend. He wants to go out on a date. They even show us an image of a text message that he has with his girlfriend. Like, yeah, I'm about to go out. You want to go get some udon? Like, let's plan this out. He's like, and the crazy part is once he came to and figured out what was going on, he said, I'm going to leave out of here. Okay, every man for himself, right? So he has to figure out a way to get out of there. They're talking about their girlfriends. Hey, when I get out, I'm going to go do this. And, oh, do you like your girlfriend? Does your girlfriend have a big, And all of a sudden, Al gets him. And you know what? I actually felt bad for the guy. Because I'm like, all he wanted to do was go get some udon with his girl. Like, but he was a Yakuza. And then, at the end of all of that, the cleaning crew came in, as they always do. Miroki took Al with her in the end to the hospital to visit someone. That someone that they visited was their Yakuza father. That was the leader of the Yakuza. And mind you, the guy that he just killed in that basement, that was one of his men. And that's in volume 4. I'm on pins and needles right now because I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. It's a lot going on. I'm on edge. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know when. Wait, no. Yes, I do. Volume 5 is coming out this September. So I have to wait like everyone else, but it's coming. But yes, if you are someone that enjoys, the cutesy dating manga, I mean, every now and again I'll probably indulge, but I like the action, the the slice of life kind of stuff to a degree, but it has to be like seinen slice of life, if that makes sense. It has to be seinen. This is more on the seinen side, but a little bit on the, if you like Sakamoto Days, Nezumi's First Love is a good one for you. So make sure you go check it out. And in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the Manga Witch, and I'll see you in the next one.